Hello, this is Dr. Jason Johnson, Superintendent of Hermosa Beach City School District. We have presented our families a reopening plan for schools, and I would like to discuss some of its details. Based on current guidelines and the orders from the Los Angeles County Department of Health and the Governor, we have decided to begin the year with distance learning for our students. When we are able to establish a date for reopening campuses for hybrid learning and in-person instruction, we will then ask parents to select between hybrid learning, or 100% opt-in distance learning. We want our parents to make that selection when they have all the facts, and as of right now, there are too many unknowns and uncertainties to force parents to make that choice. Many of you have expressed an interest in learning more about our virtual learning program and what it will look like at the start of school. During emergency school closures, students will participate in a blend of synchronous and asynchronous instruction. The district has purchased a learning management system called Schools PLP, which will meet all the requirements of SB 98. Please take a moment to review the Hermosa Beach Reopening Schools Plan and reference the schedule labeled Emergency School Closures Distance Learning Plan. This is the schedule all students will begin the year with. In this schedule, the students will follow a structured day with required attendance. At the elementary level, each school will begin with the whole groups and then break out into synchronous or live/pre-recorded instructional blocks focused on reading, writing, and math. Then, in the afternoon, students will participate in asynchronous work through Schools PLP and synchronous/asynchronous instruction for science, social science, and elective specials like STEAM. We have also designated scheduling blocks in the afternoons for intervention, enrichment, social-emotional learning, and office hours. Our goal is to create a more standardized schedule during distance learning where students, teachers, and staff have the opportunity to equitably engage in the content standards. At the middle school level, in grades 6 to 8, students will follow a block period schedule. They will report to the teacher at the beginning of each class period for attendance and instructional goals. Then, they will break out into synchronous and asynchronous instruction and/or small group instruction to engage in the period's lesson. We have selected a block schedule to allow students to maintain a consistent schedule, provide teachers the ability to see fewer students during the day, thereby giving them quality time with their class. Because of the increased span of teaching time, longer cooperative learning activities can be completed in one class period. Also, when we return to the hybrid learning, we will follow a block schedule in order to adhere to the Los Angeles County Department of Health guidelines, where we must limit the number of students intermixing during a school day. Finally, in the afternoon, students will have the opportunity to access their teacher for office hours, intervention, and/or independent work time via Schools PLP. Let's take a moment to talk about the Schools PLP, our new learning management system. Schools PLP allows our teachers and students to engage in the content standards by an online platform. Last year, much time was spent on attempting to translate in-classroom curriculum to digital platforms like Google Classroom. This gave teachers and students less time to engage with each other because so much time was devoted to logistics and coordinating assignment access. Schools PLP provides that platform and does that work. Therefore, teachers can focus on teaching. What I'd like to do is answer some of the questions you have asked about this remote learning option. How will this look for students? Each day, students will log into Schools PLP to review announcements, preview the schedule for the day, and begin synchronous or asynchronous work based on their teacher's schedule. Can students work at their own pace? Students are required to participate in synchronous instruction as listed by the Emergency School Closure Schedule. Students can complete their asynchronous work at a time each day convenient to them. However, weekly goals and assignments will be established by their classroom teacher to ensure that students stay on track to complete their lessons by the designated time. When are teachers available, and what about evening hours? As a district, we feel it is important that teachers provide synchronous instruction, small group intervention, and maintain office hours. We have developed a comprehensive schedule that provides a consistency for our students, families, and teachers to adhere to. I recommend that you reference the Emergency School Closures Distance Learning Schedule so you are familiar with the blocks of times that are available to you and your child's educational needs. Can students do their lessons outside of the school day so that parents can work? Students can complete their work at a time each day convenient to them. How are students graded or assessed? A variety of measures will be used to provide student feedback and a finalized grade for report cards. Classroom participation, student work, district benchmarks, class projects, and assessments from school's PLP will be used to help determine a student's grade at the end of each trimester. It is important that students refer to the to-do list each day in school's PLP to keep up on assignments and ensure that classwork is being turned in on a regular basis and by the teacher's due date. Will students be studying the same material as traditional students so that if they decide to transition back to the classroom, they will be on track with those students? Our teachers are dedicated to collaborating as a grade level team to provide continuity of grade level standards based work. Our teachers will use a variety of district adopted materials along with courses from school's PLP to cover the required standards. Schools will work to align and mirror the pacing of a traditional classroom. As a district, we are providing time for our teachers to collaborate on a regular basis so consistency among grade levels is maintained. What about electives? In the elementary school, specials such as physical education, music, and Sparks Lab will be included in the curriculum, but this may be taught synchronously and asynchronously. In middle school, we will provide electives for students that will be taught synchronously. Electives will be included in the student's block schedule. What emotional support is available for students and staff? HBCSD will be using one-time state and federal dollars as well as HBF funding in order to invest in supporting the social emotional needs of students and staff. HBCSD is working with Beach Cities Health District to provide additional resources for social emotional learning. We will be approaching this year from a perspective of trauma-informed care, and part of the structure of each school week will be designated for community building and social emotional wellness. What supports are available for students with an individualized education plan known as an IEP? HBCSD intends to offer opportunities for students to receive their designated services outlined in their IEPs to the maximum extent possible based on the guidelines provided by the Los Angeles County Department of Health. While the governor's order may currently limit services to teletherapy, we will continue to reevaluate our ability to provide in-person services. In the hybrid learning model, the district shall make every effort to maximize designated services in person. Also, in the hybrid learning model, special day class students will attend school 5 days a week with a modified day in either a morning or afternoon cohort to accommodate social distancing guidelines. Students with sensory or cognitive or behavioral needs that cannot wear a face covering may utilize a face shield or covering as needed. Other accommodations and support will be implemented to better support our students during COVID-19. We are working closely with our local special education agency for additional guidance as it becomes available. How will attendance participation be tracked for students? Attendance shall be taken daily of students who are virtually and physically present in class the first 20 to 30 minutes of each class or period. Chronically absent or disengaged students will be contacted by teachers, counselors, and administration to provide the support and/or intervention meeting. Students who continue to be absent will be referred to the school attendance review team and/or the school attendance review board. Thank you for taking the time to learn about our reopening of schools. In the coming weeks, we will follow up with more information to provide further details about our program. Thank you for your commitment to Hermosa Beach City School District and your child's education.